Rob Smith. Left-wing violence in the Trump era, 2018. Watch this page. Democrats push anti-Semitism into the mainstream. Bill Clinton appears on stage with notorious anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan, September 2018. Within a month, America suffered its worst mass killing of Jews in its history. 1. The following is a list of left-wing violence in the Trump era during 2018, this being a subpage whose information was moved here from the main content page. Contents. January 2018. Antifa calls for riot porn against Trump supporter Tom Brady. Party thrown to hurl stuff at television image of Trump. Saginaw MI businessman's Trump sign vandalized. February 2018. Democrat attested for sending white anthrax-looking powder to Donald Trump Jr. Trump supporter threatened with knife for not opposing Trump. Trump supporter's home vandalized in Oceanside, CA. CNN publicly smears elderly Trump supporter as Russian plant. Death threats follow. Journalist calls for profs to drown conservative students. Northeastern University wishes death on Trump during lecture. March 2018. MN, student with Trump flag assaulted by mob during national school walkout. DC, Capitol Police arrested male Dem operative for assaulting female Trump admin official. Trump staffer Heather Swift assaulted by Share Blue/American Bridge operative Wilfred Mike Stark. CA, Trump supporters peacefully protest anti-police coffee dop and get attacked. Female Trump supporter assaulted while staging Oscars boycott in LA. Panel on liberal homophobic bigot Joy Reid's show hope conservatives die off. Democratic congressman hints at armed rebellion against Trump. April 2018. April 2nd, DC woman says she was attacked by two women after telling them she was a Trump supporter. April 3rd, Trump supporter brutally attacked in DC restaurant. April 4th, Texas councilwoman accused of yelling obscenities over teen wearing Trump shirt. April 4th, councilwoman accused of yelling obscenities at teen wearing Trump shirt. April 5th, Orange Park, Florida Trump supporter spends 2 hours in surgery after attack. April 6th, during an appearance on syndicated talk show Ellen, Senator Kamala Harris, DCA, jokes about killing Trump, Pence, Sessions on elevator. April 7th, mental health expert who hates POTUS cheers fire at Trump Tower Jeffrey Guterman. April 8th, musician David Crosby celebrates fatal Trump Tower fire, oh boy, burn baby burn. April 14th, Danish tourist mugged at knife point in New York City over MAGA hat. April 19th, Democrat supporter Steve Martin is sentenced to 15 months in prison for phoning in expletive-filled death threats against Republican Congresswoman Martha McSally. 2. May 2018. Freelance journalist and EMT Jerry Wojciech was brutally assaulted by black leftist Jamil S. Hubbard in a racist attack in New Jersey. 3 Hubbard punched Wojciech in the head, dragged him into a parking lot and then ran him over with his car before stealing Wojciech's car. Hubbard, who admitted wanting to kill Wojciech because he was white, was arrested later the same day and initially charged with attempted murder, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose and bias intimidation, with additional charges of armed robbery, eluding and theft added by a grand jury. After spending 5 months in a coma, Wojciech died of his injuries on October 18. As New Jersey abolished the death penalty in 2007, Hubbard now faces life in prison for his crimes. CNN's Chris Cillizza puts Trump in crosshairs. CNN guest Professor Lawrence Tribe says of Trump, "If you're going to shoot him, you have to shoot to kill." 4. Chula Vista CA public school depicts severed head of President Trump on a spike. 5. Anti-Trump gunman Jonathan Audy yelled rhetoric against the president before opening fire on Miami-Dade police officers at Trump National Doral Golf Course. 6 Audy was shot and subsequently arrested and hospitalized following the firefight with the police. Black Trump supporter Eugene Joseph was harassed by several liberal racists at a Cheesecake Factory location in Miami, Florida for wearing a MAGA hat. 7 2 of the racists, all Cheesecake Factory employees, were subsequently fired by the restaurant chain for their actions while the others were suspended pending an investigation. 8. 8. Fox News commentator Tomi Lahren was assaulted by several leftists while dining in Minneapolis. 9. Anti-Trump band NOFX tells Las Vegas audience at least it was country fans killed in October shooting. Trump supporter suspended from school over border wall t-shirt. MSNBC's Nicole Wallace asks, how do you resist the temptation to run up and wring Sarah Sanders' neck? During a news conference, San Antonio Democrat official Tommy Calvert made a not-so-subtle threat to poison Republicans' food during debate on bid for 2020 RNC convention, which drew public criticism from Brad Parscale, President Trump's 2020 campaign manager. 10. 14 threats reported against EPA Chief Scott Pruitt. Republican congressman, along with one Democrat congresswoman, faced online death threats from anti-Trump liberal resistance. 11 A number of those who made the threats, including Christopher Michael McGowan, Ian Sue Lee, Kevin Lee Olson and Michael James Seaton, were later arrested and faced felony charges for the threats, with Olson subsequently being sent to prison. June 2018. Democrat mayor and police chief of San Jose CA coordinated with violent leftists who beat Trump supporters at a rally in June 2016. Police were ordered to stand down. 12 In July 2018 a lawsuit against the city was allowed to proceed. A Democratic Socialist mob stalked and harassed Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen. 13. Nancy Pelosi wonders why there aren't uprisings across nation, maybe there will be. 14. Prominent San Diego attorney Benjamin Israel Simon violently attacked an elderly veteran without provocation at anti-ICE rally in San Diego, then cowardly ran away before being tackled and arrested by sheriff's deputies. 15 Simon was subsequently arraigned on felony charges for the attack. California man accused of threatening to kill FCC chairman Ajit Pai's children. Reuters journalist Rob Cox lied about Maryland mass shooter Jared Ramos being a Trump supporter in a Twitter post. Cox claimed Trump has blood on his hands for the murders of 5 journalists at the offices of the Capital newspaper in Annapolis, Maryland. 16 Cox was forced to delete the tweet after coming under criticism for it. After a CNN appearance, Amy Creamer, co-chair of Women for Trump, received death threats via voicemail from unhinged leftists. 17 After Creamer commented about the threats on Twitter, CNN political analyst April Ryan responded by calling her a liar and a hater, which drew heavy criticism against Ryan for the tweet. Burned animal carcass left on Trump staffer's porch. Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi was assaulted and spit on by left-wing activists while viewing a film about PBS's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. 18. Patrick Dussault, a liberal comedy writer for Canada's state broadcaster the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CBC, threatened Chloe Trump, the 4-year-old daughter of Donald Trump Jr., with violence on a Twitter post. 1920 Conservative actor James Woods found the threatening tweet and sent it to Trump Jr. and the Secret Service, while Dussault later made a hollow apology and made dismissive excuses about the tweet, claiming it to be humor. Florida man accused of threatening to kill Representative Brian Mast, RFL, a U.S. combat veteran, and his children in a series of nearly 500 calls to his office. Central Pennsylvania man accused of threatening to kill President Trump and other officials. After refusing to serve Sarah Sanders and the family, the restaurant owner then organized a mob to harass Sanders' family at a nearby restaurant. Actor Peter Fonda calls for a mob to kidnap President Trump's 11-year-old son Barron and throw him in a cage with pedophiles. Fonda calls for a mob to sexually humiliate and abuse Sarah Sanders and Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. Nancy Sinatra praises Peter Fonda for his tweets. Professor Sam Levine of New York University illegally created a database that doxed 1,595 ICE employees. The Antifa terrorist organization used the database and spread it to their followers on Twitter. 21. A leftist mob threatened Senator Mitch McConnell and his wife, Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao at Georgetown University. 22.